Hello, I'm Gianna and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. Today we're going to be having some fun with some ghosts and specters. We're going to be creating some backgrounds, we'll be die cutting some ghosts, and maybe creating a spooky tag with our spectral friends. If you'd like to see exactly which supplies we're going to be using, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. Today we're going to have some spooky good fun while we create some spirits and ghosts. To start, we're going to be altering some pieces of Tim Holtz Ideology Halloween ephemera. Now, we've got some spooky characters going on here, and we're going to be altering these with some distress watercolor pencils, distress mica spray stains, and maybe some stickles. So, where to start? I think we'll begin with her. We'll set these two guys aside for the moment and work on our first alteration. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using some watercolor pencils, and I've got tumbled glass and salvage patina. We're going to be pairing that with a dash of frozen fog and a little bit of snow flurries. So we're going to give our two mica spray stains a really good shake. Make sure that all of the beautiful mica is nice and mixed. So the main thing I'm listening for is that mixing ball to start rattling around. It's kind of starting to rattle here, but as you can see, there is a lot of mica buildup. So we need to keep shaking to make sure that all of that gets mixed. There we go. And we want to give it a really, really good shake. Okay. Almost. Getting there. Try to get the other one shaking at the same time. Alright, this one is good, and I'm going to put a little spray of that off to the side for me to use. Then I'm going to keep mixing our snow flurries. There we go. You can hear it really starting to mix now. We're almost there. Alright, that's looking pretty well mixed. And again, I'll add a little bit of this off to the side. Good. Now I'm just going to take the watercolor pencil and I'm going to dip that into some water I have on the side. And I think we will start right here, kind of like with the hood she's wearing. It's going to lightly color that in, and then I'll go back with a water brush and blend that out. There we go. So one thing to be aware of with all of the Ideology ephemera, the ephemera is paper and the layers are kind of glossy. So when you go to alter these, it's going to change the feel just a little bit. The paper is going to react pretty nicely and allow me to color, but the glossiness on the layers I'll need to play with a little bit more before it wants to necessarily behave. All right, so we have some of that beautiful tumbled glass down, and we're just going to spread that around. Now, I want her face to be ghostly as well, so we're going to use some of the salvage patina for that. I'm gonna do that for the hands and the face. Already getting some nice ghostly vibes here. All right. There we go. That is a good start. Now I want to go into some of the mica. I'm going to start with the frozen fog, and then we'll get into the snow flurries. So, oh, there we go. It's going to be like a really, really pretty silver. And we'll tilt the camera and the piece once I have that colored in, because that is going to be very shimmery. Okay. There we go. And a little bit more on this side. Ooh, that is getting very ethereal. I love that. So next I want just a little bit of the snow flurries. Just going to try to add in a few lines of the fabric. There. Now we have a little bit of detail. Ooh. Cool. All right. So I'm just going to lift this up so we can see all of that shine. Take a look. That is very, very shiny. So this would be the first way that I would alter some of the ephemera to get a ghostly look. That is really neat. So let's go ahead and do a second one. Let's go for the skull next. For that, I'm going to be bringing in some decayed. I'm thinking I just want kind of like a glowing skull with a few blue highlights. I'm going to put down the mica spray stain first, and then I'm going to go back with the watercolor pencil to add in some details. But right now, I just want to dab this on. Now this is going to be a bit more of a pain because this is one of the layers, and that means everything wants to bead up on it. So I've got two choices. I could lay down some collage medium, which would make everything play slightly nicer together, or I can be super patient and spread this around and dry it off in between. I think for this, since we are going to be working in quite a few layers, we're going to put this on fast forward. Okay, let's take a closer look. There we can see the decayed, and if we look really closely, we can see the tint of the tumbled glass on the skull as well. So we've got something a little bit grungy going on here. Let's turn our attention to our last piece, and we're going to be doing a little bit more alteration with this girl as well. We're going to turn her into a silvery spirit. So for this one, I kind of just want to go with a very simple glow and maybe some of the blue in the background, but for the most part, I just want all of her to glow. So we're just going to brush that on, and we'll have to layer it up a few times, and I'll use the heat tool to help me keep everything in place. The main thing is I'm just going for a basic glow, and then we'll do a little bit more. All right. Oops, that doesn't go there. Back in just a moment after we've had a chance to dry this off. Okay, let's take a closer look. And as you can see, we've got this fantastic ethereal glow going on. Now, the last thing that I want to do is add a little bit more glow in the background. We're going to do that with the snowfall. And again, we're just going to kind of lightly tap that on, and I'll need to use the heat tool to make sure that that dries nicely. So just adding that in, kind of just scribbling, and then I'll use the heat tool to keep everything in place. That is going to look great. All right, back in just a moment. In just a moment after this has had a chance to dry. So let's take a look, and there we go. We've got some great shine going on here. Doesn't quite do it justice on the camera because the mica really wants to kind of white everything out, but that is very glowy. All right, so these are our three pieces of ephemera that we have altered to give a more spectral look to. Now, let's move on to creating some backgrounds where we're going to be stamping and die cutting some ghosts. Now, to do that, we're going to need some Yupo paper and some alcohol inks. So let's see here. We've got several choices, and I'm thinking we're going to do something kind of in the blues, and something kind of purple, and something a smoky gray, and maybe something a combination of everything. All right, so I'm just kind of thinking out loud right now. Let's try a bit of bayou with some flannel. And over here, maybe we could do some gravel and couperie. Then, oh, I really want to do some chronicle, and I'll pull in one of the other grays for that. And last but not least, I want to try a deep purple with the couperie. All right, so we've got some ideas. Let's go ahead and start playing. So first things first, we're going to put down some blending solution. There we go. Just make sure that we have plenty on our paper. And now we're going to start sprinkling in some of that flannel. So I'm just going to shake, being pretty generous with this. And then just a little bit of bayou. All right. Now we're going to take the ink blowing tool. This is Ranger Tim Holtz. And we're just going to move this around. I'm not going for anything in particular. I just want some color, and I want the colors to look spooky good. So I'm just going to move it. There we go. Just try to go for some good coverage, and if I can get some ripples in here, that'd be cool. If not, that's okay. So just keep moving that around, and that should dry pretty quickly. Now, as always, I like to mention, don't over squeeze. We're not trying to make a hurricane. We just need little puffs of air to move our ink about. We don't need to be overly aggressive with the blower. Just move the ink, get it to behave. Okay, so that would be background number 1. We've got some interesting ripples going on here. We've got the good colors, kind of a smoky gray. Go ahead, set that aside, and move on to our next color combo, which is going to be the couperie and gravel. So again, we're just going to repeat the same process and then move the ink. So let's go ahead and put this on fast forward as we take care of the rest of our spooky backgrounds. Let's take a look at our finished alcohol ink backgrounds. So this first one down here, we have a combination of vineyard and couperie, as well as a dash of flannel. Then we have some of the gravel along with some chronicle. That's kind of a nice grungy background. And over here we've got some bayou and no, this is couperie and gravel. I like that. That came out really good. And then this is the bayou and flannel. That is pretty neat too. So what we're going to do is we're going to be chopping some of these up into ghosts, and some of these will be stamping on. And I might be doing a combination of both. So I think we'll do our die cutting first, and then I'll do some stamping. Now for die cutting, we're going to be using Fright Night. This is from the vault. We've got the 2 fantastic ghosts in here, and I'm thinking I might even cut out those gravestones as well. And we have 2 other ghosts. This is another vault set, and this is from 2021 Vault Series Halloween 2021. And there's some more ghosts in here. They're pretty much the same, except the size is different. So I thought it'd be nice to have a couple of different sizes of ghosts. So I'll be back in just a moment after we've done a bit of die cutting. Let's take a look at our die cuts. So I did cut us a tag. I'll use that later. I was thinking about building a spooky scene with some of our ghosts. And here are the ghosts that we die cut out of the Yupo paper with all of those fun alcohol inks. You can see that we've got lots of fun ghosty pieces, and I love the look of the alcohol ink. Definitely gives it a very ethereal type of look. So we'll just set those little ghosts aside and take a quick look at our graveyard pieces, because why not? The colors were just right for graveyards as well. Very, very cool. Now we're going to be pulling in some ghost stamps, and we'll be doing some stamping atop more of the alcohol paper that we already inked. So there's a cute little ghost right here, and we've got Tiny Frights CMS 468. Now we're just going to need some Distress Archival ink, and we can stamp some ghosts. There we go. So got that. And let's see, I think I will get 2 ghosts. And you know what? I want to add a little sentiment with each of them, and why not? We have a skull here. Can just add that in as well. Okay, so we got the little ghost, and yeah, let's go with, oh, I can actually take the sentiment and use only part of it. That will be an easy solution. So we'll take our ghost, put that here. Got my little sentiment. We're just going to say boo. I'm going to leave off the other part. Add the ink. Great. And did I get that right side up or upside down? Oh, we're all good. So just making sure that I've got plenty of ink on here. Good. And let's stamp that. Put that right here. All right, that works. And why not? I want one more little ghosty. Then I will also stamp out that really cool skull. Just flip that. Perfect. All right, that works. And we'll put our little stamps back, then we'll stamp the skull. And why not? Wicked fun. Works well. And we'll just do one skull. Put that there. And this will go right here. And ink. Great. And we can stamp that right here. Okay, I like it. And we'll just put the rest of these back. And that's our first bit of stamping. I'll probably trim those down later. So that was Tiny Frights CMS 468. Moving right along, let's grab our next stamp set, and we're going to be doing some embossing. We're going to be using some shaded lilac, and I also want to pull in some of the Ranger white embossing powder because we're going to be stamping with some clear Yupo paper. This is the Duralar. So I'm going to need some embossing ink. We've got that right here. It's the dabber. And I thought we could stamp out a bunch of these ghosts. This is Spooky Spirits CMS 492. Okay. So again, we'll take this. And I'm kind of thinking I want to stamp some across the top and some across the bottom. And we'll use a combination of ghosts. definitely want to get all 3 little ones and go with 2 of the larger ones. So all we're going to do, we're going to take our embossing dabber, and I'm going to kind of do this half and half. The first half is going to be with the shaded lilac embossing glaze, and then we'll go back and do our other half with the Ranger white embossing powder. So let's take care of this first. Line that up, stamp, and lift. Good. We'll just put that back. Next one. And I will lift this up because the most important thing is if you can see the kind of shine from the ink, you know you've got ink. If you're missing the shine, then you've got to go back and add more ink. So just like here, you can tell that we've definitely got ink. Okay, I'll put this guy here. And I want to do a little one as well. And this is with the shaded lilac. I might do a big one with the white as well, but let me just see how much space I have. Okay. There we go, just carefully making sure that I'm not overlapping anything. Looks good, I hope. Okay, so we're just going to take these. I've got some scrap paper around, and we'll add the glaze. There we go. Time for the glaze. Okay. Ooh, I need just a little bit more over here. Okay. Hopefully that's good. Okay, so let's go ahead and emboss that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so round 1 of embossing is done. Now let's move this around and we'll get the other ghosts. So more ink, just tapping that on, and we'll put this guy over here. Good. And I want one of the big ghosts. Yeah, we'll go with another one of these guys. Okay. We'll need more ink. And let's put him right here. Okay. And now some of the little ones. I think I can definitely do one more. Okay. Okay. All right. And you know what? I've got room. I can do one more. Let's see, right here. Perfect. So I'll just quickly put away my little ghosts, and we will be able to finish embossing. Okay. So you're the ghost, and we're having lots of ghostly fun. This was Spooky Spirits CMS 492. Now let's bring our paper back, and we're going to add our layer of white embossing powder. Should look really good. Okay, so got the white. Okay, not bad. So we'll be back in just a moment once we've had a chance to emboss that. Here are the ghosts. They're a little splotchy, but you know what? I think that little bit of extra speckle on there could look pretty darn cool. So we're going to set those aside, and I'll cut those up later. Now we have another stamp set, and I've got some more alcohol ink background to use. We have got Halloween Doodles, and this is CMS 437, and we've got a really friendly ghost right here. So let's stamp him out as well. And again, we'll need our distressed archival black soot. Just take that, stamp it up. Great. And let's see, I might be able to get 2 ghosts out of this. Let's see. So that's 1. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's see if I can't get a second. And 2. Yes, I can get 2. Fantastic. All right, and we've got 2 more ghosts. So we'll just put this guy right back. And that was Halloween Doodles CMS 437. Now, I've got one more stamp set that has a fantastic ghosty in it, and that would be this year's Framed Frights, CMS 494. And I haven't stamped with this guy yet, so it's his turn to be featured. Let's get that. Got our block. And let's get some ink. Okay, and I've got a little 3x3 piece of paper right here. That's got some more of the alcohol ink and Yupo. Right, line that up, stick it down. Good firm pressure. Let's see what we get. Okay. Ooh. How frightfully fun. So, I'm going to set that aside. Now we're going to cut out the rest of our ghosts, and then we're going to make a frightfully fun tag. Now we have all of our ghosts all cut out, and we've got some fun specters. So now we're going to be creating a spooky tag. So I'm just going to push these off to the side for the moment, and we're going to bring back in our tag. Now for the tag, I wanted to add some bats, and I'm going for a really ghostly tag. So I was thinking, let's add some glitter with some snowfall paste. That's going to have a interesting kind of ghostly shimmer to add to our bats. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that paste, and we'll just scrape that right on. And that might even pick up some of the alcohol ink and give us a little bit of tinting too. So that could work out quite nicely. Okay. Almost done. There we go. Quick scrape. And we'll just put the lid right back on. Great. And we'll take that stencil up. Very good. It'll take a little bit for the bats to dry, but that is okay. While we wait, I'm going to be adding in our sentiments. We're going to have the word boo. That works very well since we've got all of these wonderful ghosts here to play with. So I'm just going to add some collage medium to that, a few dots. And we'll add that right to the tag. Great. So I want to put that right here. Perfect. Now, which ghost do I want? Or do I want more than one ghost? That's a good question. Ooh, that's pretty cool. It'd be fun to have kind of hanging off the edge. But I really want one of these transparent ones too. So what if we kind of doubled that up? Yeah, if I put that down and then kind of have this one off to the side, that would work out. All right, let's do that. Just gonna put a little bit of glue on this guy, and he's kind of gonna be shooting out over there, and that's really cool because now we can see the bats through him. So I like that quite a bit. And we'll give this guy some glue. There we go, and I'll tuck that right under that. Okay. Definitely liking this. Neat. And in the sky, let's add a moon. I've got this, it's already got some double-sided sticky tape on it. So we can just take that and squeeze that in right here. Good. Now, the last thing that I want to do while this is still drying with the bats, I want to add some orange ribbon, and I also want to add a 13 because why not? So I'm just going to twist this and see if I can't get that to slide right through here. Hoping that's going to fit without too much issue. Okay, let's see. Might have to twist that a little bit more. All right. Right through the 13. Great. And now I should be able to put that here. And I wanted to run this through. So if I bring this around the back, then that should work out quite well. I don't want my ghost moving too much. Take that, run that through. Try not to let that catch too many of our bats. Okay. And we're just going to twist that around so that this comes to the front. And there we go. Ooh, I like that. But I think I'll move the moon. It's now hidden by the 13, so. Oh, get back here. Yeah, back here. The ghost can stay, and the moon can go right here. Excellent. So we'll be back in just a little bit once this has had a chance to dry. Here is the finished tag. And as you can see, we've got those fun bats. There's just a little bit of sparkle on them. So that was fun. That is one spooky tag. So let's recap all the things that we have done today with Ghost and Spectres. We have made some alcohol ink backdrops. We did a bit of stamping. We used some framed frights. We brought out some holiday sketch. We've got lots of the ghosts from this year. We got some of the tiny frights that we also stamped on alcohol ink backgrounds. And we were able to do some of our stamping on top of the Duralar. So we've got all sorts of ghosts and spirits. And on top of that, we also altered a few pieces of ideology ephemera to become more ethereal and ghost-like. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner for fun with ghosts and spirits. Until next time, happy crafting!